Is this not an incredible sight? I've just got to watch my foot in here. It's pretty narrow. And last thing I want to do is end up tumbling down there. Or Bobby for that matter. But what we're looking at here is Thornwick Bay. And I've come here especially to talk about a UFO sighting that occurred there. Quite incredible. We'll get to the bottom and we'll talk about it more. But it involved a rock angler called Andy Barmby, who'd come bass fishing and he'd parked up there. You can see one car there now. Winter time, so there's no one about. Remember, tides dictate when these guys fish, so they have to fish at the suitable time. So he's on his own and he's in darkness. And what we're going to do, we're going to go down to roughly where he was fishing. If we can get down without breaking his legs, I think Bob will be okay because there's plenty of traction. But I'm going to go down here. Come on, Bob. And I want to just retell the story as Andy told it to me. I'll probably punch the date up in the form of text because I can't remember the exact date. But it's an incredible sighting. And it's just one that fits in with all the other sightings of high strangeness around this area. I mean, look at this. Imagine coming back up here in the dead of night. I mean, it's summertime now, isn't it? I think it's June the 4th today. However, let's go back however long this one was. And in the winter, there'd have been nobody here. I mean, look at it. I've just made my way down here. Me and the bobster. Careful not to let him off lead. I don't want him crashing him and tumbling onto rocks, but I will in a moment, perhaps. Come on, Bob. Come on. He's having a look. So, probably let him off lead now, and then we can redo this strange account. I'm going to get over there on one of them platforms, and we'll assume that's where he was fishing from. It's a little bit slippy, as you can see. Last thing I want to do is be limping back up there. I mean, even with these rocks, come on Bobby, not having loads of water on them, they're still quite slippy. So imagine doing this in the night. But we're just about down now and onto one of these platforms where he would have been fishing several years ago. So get the scene. Now look at these views, they're absolutely incredible, aren't they? Just a little pan round. You can see the terrain. And this, people, is Thornwick Bay. And we've come here today to relay a rock angler's account of UFOs, which he saw over there, very close to those cliffs. And we'll jump into it. So Andy's come down here fishing during the night. He's alone. We've established that his car's parked up top. Come on, Bob. And just have to bear with me, people, because I can't just go running along this. It's a bit treacherous. But I want to just get to ground zero, so to speak. Let's get on here, Bob. There's a good lad. So we'd be here. Look at this, it's pristine. And he's fishing. Nobody about. Probably got waders on, knowing Andy. Complete darkness. And then, about 3/4 of the way up those cliffs, two huge globes of amber stroke gold light lit up in the darkness. He said they just came from nowhere. He described them as being as big as cars. So quite substantial oval shaped lights, and Andy's just fishing. These things are totally silent. From what he told me, it was a lot stiller than it is today, so there's nothing. I mean, you can see how far across that is. We're not going to mistake two helicopters 3/4 of the way up the cliffs, are we? That's it's quite something. So he watches them for several minutes and then they just blink out. They've gone. Fascinating sighting. He's puzzled. He's never seen anything like it, not whilst fishing down here. So as interesting as it was, Andy carried on fishing. 10-15 minutes passed, and he'd not forgot about them, obviously, but these things weren't prominent in his mind. They just sort of faded away until they switched on again in exactly the same position. Now, when I've said 3/4 of the way up, I'm assuming we're looking at about just above that green band that comes down to the white chalky limestone cliffs. And suddenly he felt a little bit apprehensive, a little bit nervous, and he decided he'd had enough. He wasn't going to hang around. Packed his gear up, made his way back up that little ravine and up onto the top. Interestingly, Andy says that when he drove away in the car, he could still see these things below the cliffs. So you get the perspective now as he's leaving and heading home. He admits that he wished he'd have driven all the way around, because there's some bungalows up top there, as you can perhaps see, and looked from above at what these things were. But we can always look back, and in hindsight we never quite do what we're supposed to do we? So that's just another one, a true UFO account from a rock angler in Thornwick Bay, and I find that one fascinating. And that just about concludes our little trip to Thornwick Bay. And I think it's going to rain anyway, so we've probably got the best of it. We'll just go up here, see what we can see from up here. Keep this dog's lead on, because it'd be lights out if he went over these cliffs. Let's just have a look. Right, here we go. Come here, dog, stay. And look down there. Come here. And this is as close as we need to be. I have walked to that point. I don't see the point in doing it today. And look at Bobby. Precariously close, but I've got his lead on, people, so there's nothing to worry about. Just can't believe what Andy saw. Two car-sized oval-shaped spheres of light, amber in colour, in close proximity. It's about 450-500 feet across, and it's raining. So we've just got this done in time and back to the car. You lead the way, Bob, go on. Very narrow, this channel. Imagine water running down that. Water's lashing down onto camera now. Oh, steady, Bob. Proper pathfinder. And here we are. Okay, as I say every time, if you like what we're putting out, these short accounts of the strange and unusual, feel free to press the like and subscribe. It is totally free, and you will be supporting us a little bit. So until the next time, thank you and goodbye. You say, Bob.